the surface of the abdomen and thighs was removed, and the abdominal cavity emptied of its viscera. The breasts were cut off, the arms mutilated by several jagged wounds, and the face hacked beyond all recognition. The tissues of the neck were severed all around down to the bone. The face was gashed in all directions. The nose, cheeks, eyebrows, and ears being partly removed. The heart had also been removed and placed with other flesh on the bedside.
Now the diary was prompting us to look for yet another indication of the killer's identity.
I left it there for the fools, but they will never find it. I was too clever. Left it in front for all eyes to see.
Behind the victim's bed, not just an M this time, but FM for Florence Maybrick.
An initial here and an initial there will tell of the whoring mother.
He starts to think that the only way he can get any possible release at all from the mental anguish he's going through is by venting his anger, by actually destroying something, i.e. in this case the prostitutes that he's now displaced his anger onto, because he can't destroy his wife or his wife's lover because he'll be caught. And then as he does start to kill, one starts to see the thrill component coming through. He's actually starting to be thrilled by it.
His two worlds had finally collided, and it signaled the beginning of the end.
I've lost my battle and I shall go on until I'm caught. Perhaps I should top myself and save the hangman a job. At this moment I have no feeling in my body, none at all. Will peace of mind ever come? The pain is unbearable. Bunny knows all.
On May the 8th, Florence wrote to her lover. Towards the end, she writes,
"The tale he told me was pure fabrication and only intended to frighten the truth out of me."
Had James told her the truth? Had he taken his final revenge?
At the end of the day, Florence's fate was to be greatly influenced by one man, Judge James Fitzjames Stephen. On the first day of his summing up, Judge Stephen had been in full command of the arguments both for and against the prisoner, and by the time the court adjourned, he had painted a picture favourable to the accused. Later that night, however, he was found pacing his rooms repeating, "That woman is guilty. That woman is guilty." The following day, his summing up developed into a direct attack on Florence Maybrick. Something had turned the learned judge against her. Was it possible that the true nature of James Maybrick's life and death had been made known to the man who now held Florence's destiny in his hands? This is, of course, pure speculation, except for yet another remarkable coincidence. J.K. Stephen was the friend and confidant of Prince Albert Edward Victor, the future Duke of Clarence, whose doctor was Sir William Gull. Three men who have all become Ripper suspects. J.K. Stephen also knew Montague John Druitt, yet another. Perhaps with hindsight, the suspicion against these men should never have pointed at what they might have done, but at what or who they had known. For the simple fact of the matter is this: J.K. Stephen was none other than Judge Stephen's son, the man who had so unjustly turned against Florence Maybrick. Was it his son's knowledge of who Jack the Ripper was that has caused the finger of suspicion at one time or another to point at those associated with him? Did Jack the Ripper's trail lead to J.K. Stephen's father, Judge Stephen, and ultimately to the real Jack the Ripper, James Maybrick?
It took the jury just 38 minutes to reach their verdict, and Florence Maybrick was duly sentenced to hang. Before leaving the courtroom for the last time, she bowed to his lordship and said,
"My lord, everything has been against me. Although evidence has been given as to a great many circumstances in connection with Mr. Briley, much has been withheld which might have influenced the jury had it been told.
2 days before Florence Maybrick was due to hang, her sentence was commuted to life imprisonment, thanks to the massive weight of public opinion that finally contradicted the notion that justice had been done.
15 years after her imprisonment, Florence was finally released. And whatever the true story of her life with James Maybrick was, it stayed with her till her dying day. Now, more than a century later, perhaps the fog has finally begun to clear. Was James Maybrick an innocent murder victim, or a depraved monster whose legend refuses to die?
If this is a forgery, then the number of coincidences are so tremendous that the man has really had incredible luck.
Well, he's also had extremely bad luck, in that people feel very once bitten, twice shy, and his document has been put through searching examinations of a kind that no previous Ripper discovery ever has been.
If it's a modern forgery, fine. The problem so far has been that various tests have been conducted to try and show that it is a modern forgery, and that's not what they're showing.
Many historians are confident that this is either a brilliant hoax, written sometime after 1987, or genuine. They think any other explanation is impossible. On the other hand, forensic science would appear to indicate that it was written much earlier. Any other conclusion is also impossible. Perhaps another celebrated Victorian, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, was right. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth.
I pray whoever shall read this will find it in their heart to forgive me. Remind all, whoever you may be, that I was once a gentleman. May the good Lord have mercy on my soul, and forgive me for all I have done. Give my name that all may know of me, so history do tell what love can do to a gentleman born. Yours truly,